Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Judges, Timekeeper, Moderator, and our board partner. Ladies and gentlemen, our motion today is talk about this House support the widespread implementation of AI in climate change mitigation and environmental protection. Ladies and gentlemen, we from government team totally agree with this motion. In this motion, AI in climate change refers to the application of advanced computational systems to support environmental decision making through the analysis of large-scale climate data, identification of patterns, and generation of predictive insight to enhance mitigation and adaptive strategies. Its function is not to substitute human judgment, but to improve the speed and precision of responses to environmental challenges. These technologies are already reflected in practical applications such as satellite monitoring systems, climate modeling software, and predictive environmental platforms adopted by government and research institutions to monitor deforestation, forecast weather conditions, and facilitate more sustainable urban planning. By the SPRIT's implementation refers to the board that and integrate adoption of AI across sectors associated with climate mitigation and environmental protection, including meteorological technology, land use mapping, and settlement planning. Ladies and gentlemen, extreme weathers even are occurring with greater frequency and severity. Sea levels continue to rise and ecosystems are becoming increasingly unstable, indicating that the climate crisis has progressed beyond mere prevention and now demands urgent damage control. Given the scale of problem, the primary challenge has shifted towards mitigation, limiting further deterioration and minimizing additional environmental harm. However, under the current status quo, human capability alone is insufficient to match the pace and complexity of environmental change, as data processing, predictive analytics, and coordinated decision making remain relatively slow and fragmented. This often leads to delay and less effective responses to climate related threats. By contrast, the widespread adoption of AI enables more rapid data processing, greater accuracy in environmental mapping, and predictive capacities that support earlier and more effective intervention. Therefore, when comparing both conditions, conventional methods alone are no longer adequate, and the implementation of AI become necessary to achieve more effective climate mitigation and environmental protection. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe the purpose of this motion is to overcome the shortcoming of current climate mitigation efforts, particularly in relation to speed, precision, and efficiency. Therefore, we seek to establish a system in which environmental decision making is strengthened through faster, data-driven, and more accurate technological support. Ladies and gentlemen, climate change is one of the most complex and large-scale crises humanity has ever faced because it involves complex interconnected factors operating simultaneously across local, national, and global levels. Government must account for constantly changing weather system, ocean temperatures, carbon emission, industrial output, land use change, transportation network, energy consumption, agricultural patterns, and population movement, all of which influence one another in ways that are difficult to predict manually. The sheer volume and complexity of this information make traditional human analysis increasingly insufficient as policymakers and environmental agencies simply cannot process such massive data sets quickly enough or accurately enough to consistently make optimal decision. Human decision making is limited by time, cognitive capacity, and the inability to identify sector patterns across millions of data points, especially when environmental conditions change in real time. This is precisely why widespread AI implementation is necessary. AI can analyze enormous amounts of environmental, economics, and infrastructure data within seconds, identify hidden trends and correlation that humans might overlook, and continuously generate predictive models that improve the speed and accuracy of decision making. For example, in meteorology, AI can process satellite imagery, atmospheric pressures, point patterns, and historical climate data to predict floods, storms, drought, and wildfires earlier and more precisely than traditional forecasting system, giving government more time to evacuate communities, reinforce infrastructure, and allocate emergency research. This urgency matters because climate mitigation is highly time sensitive. Delayed, inaccurate, or incomplete decision can result in preventable environmental destruction, unnecessary economic loss, worsening emissions, infrastructure collapse, and even loss of human life. In a crisis where speed, scale, and precision are essential, relying solely on traditional human-led systems is no longer realistic. Therefore, the government supports the widespread implementation of AI in climate change mitigation and environmental protection because modern environmental changes have surpassed the limit of manual governance and refusing to use superior analytical tools in the face of such urgency would be both inefficient and irresponsible. Thank you.